The Forgotten Legend. The Galactic Commonwealth had grown complacent over 2,000 years of uncontested rule. 17 sentient species, each with their own strengths and weaknesses, had formed an alliance that spanned 3 spiral arms of the Milky Way. They had encountered many primitive species, but none that posed a challenge to their technological supremacy. Among the oldest legends, passed down through generations, were stories of a species called humans who once possessed technology that rivaled the gods. Senior archivist Valara of the hentai race didn't believe in the human myths. With 6 limbs and iridescent scales that shifted colors with her mood, she was considered one of the Commonwealth's preeminent historians. She had spent 3 centuries studying ancient ruins and artifacts across dozens of worlds. These stories are nothing but folklore, she told her assistant Krell as they explored ruins on the Outer Rim planet designated XR-47. Every developing civilization creates mythical precursors to explain technological artifacts they don't understand. Krell, a young Volnari with tentacle-like appendages and large, sensitive eyes adapted for the dim light of his homeworld, wasn't so certain. But Archivist, these symbols match exactly with the ones found in the Proxima system, and carbon dating puts them at the same age, approximately 3,000 standard years. Valera's scales shimmered with irritation. Coincidence, or perhaps both, were influenced by a common source. That was when her scanner began to beep. Something beneath the ruins was emitting a faint energy signature. After hours of careful excavation, they uncovered a sealed chamber. Inside was a small metal cube bearing an unfamiliar symbol, a circle with a stylized representation of a planet, crossed by what appeared to be a primitive projectile weapon. "Is that?" Krell's voice trembled. "The Earth insignia," Valera whispered, her scales now a pale blue of shock. From the human legends. When they returned the artifact to the Commonwealth Central Archives, it caused a minor sensation among academics, but little concern from the Galactic Council. Councillor Drez, a massive gas-based entity contained within an environmental suit, dismissed it outright. Even if these humans existed, they'd been gone for millennia. A technological dead end, nothing more. 2 standard weeks later, the long-range sensors at Outpost Sigma 9 detected an anomalous signal originating from a sector of empty space. The signal pattern matched nothing in Commonwealth records. It was a simple, repeating sequence in binary code that, when translated, contained only a single word in an ancient language. Remember, the Council convened an emergency session. Valara was summoned to provide historical context. The signal is coming from coordinates that match ancient star charts, identifying the location as Sol, the supposed home system of the humans, she explained, her scales now a deep purple of scientific excitement. Could it be automated? Some ancient warning system? Asked Councillor Thrix, her insectoid mandibles clicking nervously. Possibly, Valera admitted. But the signal only began after we activated the artifact. The Commonwealth Security Force dispatched their flagship, the Celestial Seeker, accompanied by 4 escort vessels. Captain Zorax, a veteran of border skirmishes with non-Commonwealth species, commanded the expedition. "We'll approach with caution," he assured the Council. "If there's anything there, we'll assess whether it poses a threat." The journey took 3 weeks at maximum light speed. When they arrived at the coordinates, scanners showed nothing but empty space. No planets, no stars, just darkness. "Full sensor sweep," Zorax ordered. "Check for cloaking technology or dimensional anomalies." For hours, they found nothing. Then, a junior officer noticed a gravitational inconsistency. "Sir, there's something there. But it's not registering on standard sensors." They launched probes designed to detect objects in alternative phase states. The results shocked everyone aboard. "Captain," the science officer reported, "we found a structure. It's massive, approximately 15 kilometers in length. It appears to be a space station of some kind, but it exists partially out of normal space-time. Can we communicate with it?" Zorax asked. Before anyone could answer, every console on the bridge activated simultaneously. The Commonwealth insignia disappeared, replaced by the same symbol found on the artifact, the Earth insignia. A message appeared in all known Commonwealth languages. Identification confirmed. Commonwealth vessels detected. Initiating protocol awakening. The station began to phase fully into normal space. It was an immense structure of black metal with sharp, angular lines, unlike the flowing organic designs favored by Commonwealth architects. As it solidified into reality, energy readings spiked dramatically. "Sir, I'm detecting power signatures consistent with weapons systems," the tactical officer shouted. "They're coming online." Zorax remained calm. "Hold position. Do not power weapons. This could be automated defenses. Send the first contact package on all frequencies." But it was too late. The station had fully materialized, and with it came a flash of light that temporarily blinded their sensors. When visual capability returned, the Commonwealth crew froze in collective shock. Surrounding them were ships, dozens of them. Black, angular vessels with minimal lighting and no visible engine exhausts. They ranged in size from small frigates to dreadnoughts larger than anything in the Commonwealth fleet. They had appeared silently, without warning, as if they had simply stepped out of the void itself. "Sir," whispered the communications officer, "we're receiving a transmission." On the main view screen appeared a figure that sent chills through every member of the crew. It looked superficially similar to several Commonwealth species, bipedal, with 2 arms and a head. But its features were unmistakably alien. Smooth skin without scales or fur, small ears, a flat face with forward-facing eyes, and a mouth full of blunt teeth. It wore a dark uniform with the Earth insignia prominently displayed. "Commonwealth vessels," the being said in perfect galactic standard. "This is Admiral Helena Chen of the Earth Defense Force. You have entered restricted space. Your people once called us myth. Your historians erased us from your records. Your ancestors left us to die." The figure's expression remained impassive, but its eyes burned with an intensity that made even Zorax flinch. "We have returned, and we remember everything." The silent return. Panic swept through the Commonwealth. The Celestial Seeker had returned with footage of the human fleet and a message that shook the foundations of their civilization. The council chambers erupted in chaos as representatives argued over how to respond. "We must mobilize the defense fleet immediately," shouted Councillor Vex, his crystalline body flashing with aggressive red patterns. "And start a war with a species that can hide entire fleets in dimensional pockets," countered Councillor Thrix. "We don't even know their capabilities." Valara, promoted to senior historical advisor due to the crisis, spoke quietly but firmly. The human vessels showed remarkable restraint. They could have destroyed the Celestial Seeker but chose communication instead. In the weeks that followed, more human ships appeared throughout Commonwealth space. They never entered orbit around populated worlds or approached major installations. They simply watched from a distance, silent and imposing. Attempts to communicate were met with the same message. "We are observing. We are remembering." Commonwealth citizens began reporting strange phenomena. Ancient ruins containing human artifacts suddenly activated, projecting images of Earth's history. The images showed a thriving civilization, technologically advanced beyond the Commonwealth's current level, spreading throughout their solar system and beyond. Then came images of destruction. A massive conflict with an enemy obscured in shadow. Desperate calls for help sent to neighboring systems now part of the Commonwealth. The final images showed human ships retreating into what appeared to be artificial rifts in space, followed by darkness. They weren't destroyed, Valara realized, presenting her findings to the Council. They fled into dimensional refuge to escape some catastrophic threat. And now they've returned because we activated the artifact, finished Councillor Drez, his containment suit dimming with realization. 3 months after first contact, a formal meeting was arranged. The Commonwealth sent their flagship, now commanded by Admiral Toxin, to a neutral location, an uninhabited system near the border of known space. Valara accompanied the delegation as their historical expert. The human vessel that appeared dwarfed the Commonwealth flagship. Its sleek black hull absorbed light rather than reflecting it, creating an impression of a ship-shaped void in space. A delegation of 5 humans transported aboard, another technology the Commonwealth had never mastered. Admiral Chen led the human contingent. In person, humans were both more and less alien than expected. They moved with a fluid grace despite their seemingly rigid skeleton, and their expressions conveyed emotions with subtle shifts that even the empathic species in the delegation found difficult to read. For 3,000 years, we watched from the shadows, Chen explained, her voice carrying neither anger nor warmth. We observed as species rose and fell. We witnessed the formation of your Commonwealth upon the ashes of worlds we once called allies. She activated a holographic display showing star systems familiar to the Commonwealth delegates. These 17 worlds that now form your core territories. We sent distress calls to all of them when the Void Harbingers attacked Earth. None responded. Void Harbingers? Admiral Toxin asked. An enemy from beyond the galactic rim, another human delegate explained. A hive consciousness that consumes civilizations. They attacked Earth first because our long-range exploration vessels were the first to detect their approach. We had no choice but to retreat into phase-shifted space, Chen continued. We've spent millennia developing technologies that would allow us to fight back. We believed the Harbingers had given up and moved on to easier targets. The final human delegate, an older male with lines etched deeply into his face, leaned forward. We were wrong. They'd been circling the galaxy, growing stronger by absorbing lesser civilizations, and now they're returning, heading directly for Commonwealth space. Silence fell over the delegation as the implications sank in. Why should we believe you? Demanded Counselor Vex. This could be a pretext for invasion. In response, Chen simply activated another holographic display. It showed real-time footage of the galactic rim. A darkness was spreading across the stars, not like a conventional fleet, but like a stain of absolute nothingness. This is happening now, she said quietly. The Void Harbingers will reach your outer colonies within 2 standard years. Without our help, the Commonwealth will fall within 5. And why would you help us? Asked Valara, her scales shifting to a deep blue of contemplation. When we abandoned you. For the first time, Chen's expression softened slightly. Because despite everything, we're still human. And humans don't abandon others to face extinction, even those who once abandoned us. The alliance formed in the shadow of approaching doom was uneasy at first. Commonwealth citizens regarded the human ships with fear and distrust. Human officers maintained a cold professionalism that bordered on contempt. But as knowledge and technology began to flow between the species, understanding grew. Human phase shift technology allowed Commonwealth ships to move virtually undetected. Commonwealth biotechnology enhanced human medical capabilities. Together, they prepared for the coming storm. 1 year later, when the first wave of Void Harbingers reached the outer systems, they faced not a scattered defense, but a unified front of Commonwealth and human vessels. The battle was brutal, but for the first time in their long campaign of consumption, the Harbingers were repelled. In the aftermath, as damaged ships limped back to repair facilities, a Commonwealth engineer asked his human counterpart why they had hidden for so long. The human smiled tiredly. Sometimes the best legends are the ones people stop believing in. It gave us time to prepare, to become the guardians this galaxy needed, not the allies it deserved. On the bridge of the Joint Command vessel, Valara stood beside Admiral Chen, watching as reports came in from the front lines. Will we survive this? Valara asked quietly. Chen's expression remained unreadable, but there was something in her eyes that Valara recognized, something profoundly human that transcended species differences. Survival isn't guaranteed, Chen replied. But together, we have a chance. And sometimes, that's all humanity has ever needed, just a chance to prove the impossible possible. As they spoke, more ships emerged from phase space, human vessels that had been hidden throughout the galaxy, waiting for this moment. The myths had become reality, and the galaxy would never be the same.